Rexasaur here, and welcome to another World of Tanks review, where today we'll be reviewing the Tier 8 German heavy premium tank, the Lowe. The Lowe is one of 3 Tier 8 heavy premium tanks, including the T-34 and the IS-6, and of the 3 I have only ever played this one. So I cannot compare this to the other heavies, but from what I know, they're all pretty good, but I think this one is probably the most adequate for its matchmaking and the way it works. The i6's gun is really terrible compared to its armor and stuff. It's a very bad gun basically. Whilst the T-34 is very slow, it's kind of useless in my opinion. These are my opinions from going against these, not through playing them. But the Lowe is probably one of my favorite tier 8 tanks. My favorite tier 8 tank is, that is a heavy tank, is obviously the i3. I play that tank so much. But this tank is very good. As you can see, I have camoed it. I've got emblems on both sides and a name. That means that the tank I will be keeping forever. Not nearly because it's a Lowe and it's a premium tank which I spent money on, but it's also a very, very good tank, and I've played a lot of games in it. Look at my service record. We can see that the Lowe I have played not that many games actually. I know I've played less than 100 actually, but I played a lot. Right, my Lowe, I have 75 battles, 57% win rate, and 915 average XP, along with a lot of battles survived, 32%, which is pretty good considering my average is below that. Average damage of positive, damage ratio of 1.2, destruction of 1.7, armor efficiency is a bit lower, but hey. But what does this Lowe have over everything else? Well, let's look a bit at the stats. It has 16,500 hit points, which is pretty high considering the i3 has 1,500, the Tiger 2 has 1,600. So it's got quite a nice beefy amount of hit points, which is very good. Its engine power is 800 horsepower to its weight, which means it goes pretty reasonably fast. It's not a fast tank, but it's not a slow tank either. It's pretty heavy and it's nice. The speed is nice because it means that the slower TDs, such as the T28 and T20 prototype, can keep up with you. The Ferdinand can keep up with you. The Tiger 88 can keep up with you. Which is really good because that means you can go in a force rather than like an IS3. You go really fast, really ahead of everyone. This one is very much a front line, second line tank kind of thing. Its top speed is 35, so as you can see, it's not the fastest of tank, but it's definitely not a slow tank. Traverse speed is 24, which is pretty slow. Turret traverse is 23. However, together that does make a traverse speed of just under 50 degrees per second, so that's not too bad. It's not a problem of turning because you're never going to be in a turn battle anyway with this thing. Now, armor wise, it has 120 on the front, 80 on the side of the turret, 100 on the side of the tank, and 80 on the rear. This is very armored. It's not the most armored, but you definitely bounce quite a few shots. Now the turret says it's 120, but it's actually 120 there. What should I say? Here and here. And as you can probably see, I'm not entirely sure if you can see, but this is sloped as hell. It is very rare that something will penetrate your turret. They might penetrate here if you're really unlucky, but most of the time it's just going to bounce. The mantlet makes up so much of the tank that it's very rare something's going to actually penetrate through. Now, another point is that your underglacius is very unarmored. You're going to have to angle a lot, but most of the time, hide your underglaciers, let them attack your turret, because you're going to bounce a lot of shots. I have bounced a lot of shots with this thing. There we go, view range 400s, and then the actual is like 422, and then signal range is a bit boosted because of my crew. But what about the gun? Now, I have equipped, of course, some special things to make things better, but the gun is a tier 9 gun, a very, very good gun. It has 5 rate of fire. This fires every 10, 11, 12 seconds. I can't remember. I think it's every... Yeah, I think because of the rammer and the crew skills and all that, I have boosted it up so that the reload is about 12 seconds. It has 234 pen, which is amazingly high and very, very good. And 320 damage, which is nothing to scoff at. It's not 390, but it's 320, you know, and it's very consistent and it pens a lot compared to the i6, which has 390 but only 175 pen. You're kind of like, well, actually, I'd rather have a really good pen. Also, dispersion is only 0.33 accuracy, which is very good. That is very, very good. That is really good. And the aiming time is 2.9, which is also very, very good for a heavy tank. This thing rarely misses a shot, and if it hits, it's going to pen and do a lot of damage. Now, when it comes to, you know, the usefulness of this tank, it's incredibly useful. It brings you a lot of money. I play a lot, not only because it brings me a lot of money, but because it's really fun to play, in my opinion. For me, someone who really, really liked the Tiger 2, I find that this is a very suitable replacement for it. Like, I didn't want to keep the Tiger 2 because I wanted to carry on up on the line, so I had to sell it. But this is a very good money maker, and it makes a, you know, it's so good to drive, so fun to drive, does a lot of damage. So I'm going to now show you 2 replays, and yeah, so we're going to see how good the tank is in battle. Okay, here we are on the first replay. We are in a tier 9 game. There's a lot of tier 9s. There's about a third of the team on both sides are tier 9, and there are just a few tier 7s on each team. We're on Himmelsdorf. We are in the north side. We've spawned on the hill, and the it's a counter. There we go. So the first things we're going to do is drive down and do that. Now, because I've got a new laptop, which is fantastic, it means I load in much earlier than I used to, so there's a lot of waiting at the beginning. But there we go, so we're going to go fast. We're not going to go that fast. I need to go with FCM 50 ton already started. That is another tier 8 heavy, which I completely forgot about. But I don't consider it heavy, I consider it mostly a medium tank. But yeah, so we're rolling, we're going above, we went at 38, so there we go. Wargame is already screwing up with the top speed because we're going way faster than that. But here we are driving at a coasting 32 kilometers per second. Second, yes, second is what I meant to say. 32 kilometers per hour, which is pretty good. Just moving up. I'm going to change this so that it's that. There we go. And we're just going to move forward. Most of our team is staying on the 0 line up on the hill, and we're not going to stay there. We're going to go on the 2 to 3 line and protect our cap circle and put shots up on the hill because easy damage and general stuff. You know how it goes. I have also disabled the chat, something that I have never done before. I never really thought that it was going to, just thought I'll just ignore this, but through a lot of playing lately, I just realised there's so many spammers and people, especially at the lower tiers, who spam like links to gold. It's like, oh, buy gold here, and it's like, oh, piss off. So yeah, so we're going to go here and put shots into the side of some tier, well, tier everything really, and the first shot goes into the side of the AMX 5100 and does a nice, well, actually a very low roll considering we do 320 average. But a nice steady shot. Then we put a shot into him, and we goes out of vision, so we don't really see how much damage he did. T25-2 has been spotted. A shoot, and we kill him off. We're going to have to reverse now to see the enemy, who gets spotted again. We're going to try and put a shot into them. I'm going to attempt a shot at the WZ-120, which I managed to. He is stock, as you can see by the star next to his tank's name. However, that one is fully upgraded, or at least upgraded well, he's no longer stock. That shot misses, but as you can see, I am sniping a lot. This game is mostly a sniping game, but there is quite a calamity, let's say, towards the end, which you will see. But as you can see, the accuracy of this gun is not too bad. Like, on a long range distance, 0.33 accuracy is pretty good. And it means that I've been managing to hit all my shots, bar one that I missed because it went to the side of a hill. Although I haven't penetrated all of them, but I've penetrated most of them. There's only one that I hit that I didn't pen. And we've already done 1,000 visible damage. There was one shot we put in the AMX 5100 that was not spotted. That shot, I have no idea why it missed, but whatever. I realise that I'm sideways on, so I'm going to move my tank around this and also try maybe to get that 5100, but he's behind some buildings, so I'm just going to move up. I'm going to see if there's anything around the corners, and I'm going to move myself into a better position to do some sniping because they have pushed up on the hill, so I decided that I would move up to that. Now we are going to see not only the how well this gun performs on low long ranges, but also the armor of this tank. Now I am going to take some silly damage at some point, but first there's a T-29, and we're going to shoot him in the side turret, but of course the shot veers slightly right, which means we hit his mantlet at a very awkward angle, so we bounce that. And then he moves forward. I think he spotted me. I put a shot to his side, and he has indeed spotted me. And I'm going to just divert my tank backwards, putting it at an angle, and then there's a T-34 who just randomly moves forward. I'm going to put a shot into him. 360, pretty good average, pretty good high roll, not average roll. So that was good. And we've done a total of about, let's say 2,000 damage, because we did put a shot into the AMX 5100, which was not visible. And we're going to assume that we did the average. I would be under 2,000. Let's be reasonable. So there's the T-29. We put a shot into the front of his turret, which was never going to hit, but was never going to pen. Sorry, it did hit. As you can see, we haven't really missed any shots. WZ-120 did though, and that means we can put a shot into him, but that goes low and misses. And our first bounce from I think it was a T-29, was never going to hit, but it did hit our mantlet. It's never going to pen. I think saying that. And then we took actual damage from the stock 120, so we didn't take a lot of damage from him, although we still took damage. Then he penetrates again. Now, due to his elevation, he manages to put shots into the front of my turret. I'm pretty sure, or like, I don't know where the hell he's hitting actually. Oh, no. Yeah? Wow, someone actually hit my, what's it called? My underglacier from there. Which is, as I told you, really weak, so that's probably why he managed it. I think that might have been though. I don't even know who managed to hit from there, to be honest. I find it ridiculous. There is an IS-3 poking around the corner. He's on 29 HP, which is not a lot, but it's still enough for me to be worried about him. And I'm going to move up, and I'm going to basically try and get shots onto these guys. T-29 showing a side shot, but a nice shot into him. Very low roll, but a nice shot nevertheless, because damage is damage. The MX 5100 is going around here, and we're going to try and flank him. And then he does something very, very silly, and that's come out. So he took a shot, comes out, I put a shot, a high roll, but not high enough. He puts them down on 1 damage, and then he gets killed by the Carnarvon, who has a very high reload rate, which is good. Now, at this point, it is very, very equal. However, we have 4 heavy tanks versus their 2 heavy tanks, 1 medium, and a artillery. I try and snap that shot around the corner. It was never really going to pen. Or hit for that matter. That was a very, how to call it, wishful shot, to say the least. Now I have a lot of HP. I look at my HP at this point, I'm like, I have quite a lot of HP. I can probably take a shot from it, which I do, and it damages my engine. Now I decide over the engine or the tracks to just repair my engine, since my tracks will just be repaired very quickly. And we have a much faster reload than the T-34, so we're going to shoot him and kill him off. Then we're going to turn around. The T-29 is going against the IS-3, and the IS-3 obviously wins, and at this point is now gone down. For the time it took me to kill that T-34, we have lost 2 of our 4 tanks. The T-54 is a very good player, as you can see. He has 80 shit points. I can't remember what they're called. Win 8, WN8, that's the one. And the IS-3 comes around the corner. Now I was basically not hoping, but assuming he would be coming around the corner, so I plunked myself around next to the building. And he didn't come around instantly, so I was like, oh, well, maybe he went around the long way, and that was the thing I was fearing. But then he came around the corner, I was like, well, that's an easy shot. And the T-54 manages to kill off the E-75. Now, the T-54 is 2 shots for me. However, I am, I believe, 3 average shots for him. So even though he is a high roll for me, I am very much 2 shots for him, which means that I can hopefully, if I either hope for the high roll, but I know that I'm going to have to take 2 shots. You always have to assume that you're going to do a bloody low roll, because most of the time you have to do a bloody low roll. You're going to. And I put 1 shot, and guess what? It's a low. Actually, it's a high roll. It's a high roll by 2. But he puts a shot into me, and now I am very much in 1 hit range for him if he gets a very high roll, because he does 320 average, I believe. I'm not entirely sure. Haven't played the T-54. And I don't tend to remember these things. And at this point, I was considering going around, and I decided instead to back off and try and use my armor to my advantage. So I back off into a few trucks, and I try to get a shot into him. Try and get him in his turret. He moves around, I put a shot, but I've missed, so which means he gets a shot into me. He puts a shot, but it bounces because my tank is actually good. Which at this point means that I can not safely go because he's got fast reload, but I can go and attack him. And he does put a shot to me, and it was a low roll, which was lucky, because if it was a high roll I would have died. At this point, it's kind of like, you know, I could have easily just lost the game there. But it's 1-on-1, me versus Artie. So very quickly we went from winning to not winning at all, and it's now me versus Artie. I'm very much a one-shot. Artie will be 2 hits, and this is going to be a lot of... I fast forwarded it a bit, but basically what happened is I just went around the corner. This is going to be a lot of me searching for Artie. I have 5 minutes on the clock, and I'm basically just looking for where Artie might be going. I have no idea where he is. I have no idea where he is still now. I think he went up the hill and then just came down when his team... I don't have chat on, so I don't know what the team is telling me, which I think at this point is a massive disadvantage, but I don't really regret it because I'm a big boy. I can take care of myself. So I'm just going to basically go around, don't see RT, and I decide 4 minutes, yeah, I should probably get and try and cap because I'm not going to find him, and if he hides there's no point. So I'm going to go into the cap and start capping. We're going to keep this on replay speed ×2. There's RT, gets spotted, I put a shot into him, I completely donk my shot, which means that RT has totally got the ability to get me. I put a shot into him, he shoots, but it just hits the wall, which means that now he's got a very long reload, being a tier 8 Artie, and all I need to do is just drive forward, see him, and I take my time and I hammer at him because why not. So there we go, 5 kills, over 3k damage, and now we're going to look at the results. Okay, so here we are on the results screen, getting in almost 75k credits, 2,700 XP on a double, with our Lowe hitting 73% of all our hits and doing 3,820 damage. If we look at both of the teams, you can see we came top, obviously. Again, 5 kills to Carnarvon coming below us, getting 6 kills, and the enemy T-54, which we went up against, getting almost 5,000 damage. So he was a pretty good player. But if we look at all the statistics, we can see that of all the shots we fired, hitting only 19 of them, which is still pretty good when you think about it, and of a distance of over 300 meters, getting 2,000 damage. So I will see you in the next replay. We are on the second replay. We are Lakeville. We are also platooned with my brother Toastboy and another clan member, Black Raptor, hitting his Tiger 2, and my brother in his VK4502A. This is a very tier 8 game. We are top tier platooned. However, there are quite a few tier 7s and 6s as well, so this is not going to be the hardest of games, not going to lie. But we still come across quite a bit of fire because the enemy team do have some pretty powerful tanks and really good players on the enemy team, as XVM is telling us. So we're going to continue moving forwards. To continue, we're going to start moving forwards. We're going to move towards the city itself. I make a massive mistake and think this is encounter. However, my tactic sort of works. Lakeville's a really nice map because the same tactic works for both game modes, but I was like, at one point I'm like, you continue capping Toast Boy, and he's like, dude, this is not encounter. I'm like, oh fuck, it's not encounter. So here I'm just aiming. As you can see, the speed of the Lowe is quite, not considerably slower, but still pretty slow compared to the VK and Tiger 2. In fact, it is considerably slower than the VK, who are very fast tanks. But it means that we can keep up with most of our allies who are following us. We have an A44 going into the middle of the map, a Borsig who is following him to overlook the lake, and we have a KV5, I think it is, or a KV3, it is a KV3, can't read it on the map, and a T32 who are going down the 2 line to protect that side. Now this game is going to be very much a, not a run-of-the-mill, but pretty standard kind of attack the hill, then kill everyone kind of thing. So we're going to move up. I am obviously slow, so my brother and Black Raptor are going to engage the enemy before I am, and they see both an I6 and a T30, a Super Pershing, as well as a Cromwell, and a Tiger P. So most of the enemies seem to have gone into the town, but my brother is managing to bounce most of the shots. There's a T-21 out there. I'm not entirely sure what he's doing with his life, but he's pretty happy not to be there. Now, he manages to take out, like, both Black Raptor and my brother managed to take out the Super Pershing pretty fast. I managed to kill steal that successfully, which is pretty good. And I'm going to carry on. There's a Cromwell there. Black Raptor keeps getting in the way, but it's not too much of a problem. The T-43, sorry, has a derp gun, something that the Lowe can't really dodge, but it doesn't do quite a lot of damage. I managed to bounce that shell from the IS-6. The T-43's derp gun not doing enough damage to me. And my brother continues to use his tank effectively to block a lot of the incoming shells. So me and Black Raptor absolutely decimate that T-43, taking out pretty much all his health in a volley of both of our guns. I try and put some shells into the IS-6. We're not too confident about going out, then RT hits both Toast Boy and Black Raptor, doing quite a lot of damage, mostly to my brother. Then I take a shot at the Tiger P and I stupidly aim at his strongest point. And then I decide, well, actually, that's all there is. We might as well go around him. So I put a shot into the I-6, which bounces off, which is a shame. But he bounces off me. As you can see, I-6 gun not too good. Black Raptor then asked if he should follow us. So at this point, I'm like, well, no, you can carry on forward. Kill that T-43, to which he can obviously oblige very kindly to. Going to try and hit the Cromwell. I actually try and ram him, but he sees my trick and buggers off. He's on exactly 320 HP. I'm not too keen about following him because I don't want to take too much damage, but I do manage to kill him before he leaves. There is only a Jagdtiger 88 there. I'm going to aim at him. I'm going to back off first because I'm taking shots from the side and I don't really want to. And I'm going to aim at the Jagdtiger 88. I do a very high roll. I aim at his weakest point. Black Raptor has been killed at this point. He did get hit massively by RT off screen. And then the Jagdtiger 88 is finished by me. So at this point, me and Toast Boy have got all the kills on our team. We've killed 7 enemy tanks, which is basically all the enemy tanks that have died right now. Which just shows you the way that this game is going. So my brother is under a lot of pressure from this Tiger P, and at this point I'm like, don't sacrifice your tank, let me come to you, I've got all the HP, let the T-21 get him out and stuff like that. He takes a massive hit from our artillery, who is a good player. He is green, which makes him a good player. The T-21 goes out, gets killed by him at this point, and then the Tiger P gets hit once again. I think this one was the T-20 prototype rather than our artillery though. And I'm deciding to go around. I'm telling Toast Boy to just not rush out ahead. I don't want him to die, and I'm going to need him for the rest of this battle. Because judging by the way our team is playing, we're going to need each other's help quite a bit. Tiger P's there, put a shot into him, he dies. Aimed at his lower glaciers, it was obviously going to do that. DW Panther's over there, he gets killed by the T-20 prototype. Black Rat was pretty happy at this point. And we're going to keep moving on. Now Toast Boy is going to go lower ground. I'm going to try and hit the higher ground because I'm going to have less cover, be more visible, and the enemy is going to be more happier to shoot at me. And I don't really mind because I have a lot of armor. I try and gather my shots to hit the VK 3002M, and he gets killed by Toast Boy, who is now on 4 kills. I'm 1 kill off a top gun and Toast Boy's 2. And yeah, so we're not doing too bad. Indian Panzer over there, I put a shot into him. He hasn't actually spotted me, which I am very surprised. Only now has he really spotted me. Puts a shot into me and misses completely, which is weird because the Indian Panzer has a very good gun. Then I take a shot from the left. Now I think it's a very weak shot, so I automatically assume that it would be the Tiger 2 because the Tiger 2 might be stock. Looking at the team list, it was kind of obvious what it was. It was in fact the KV-85, but I wasn't entirely sure because I thought, no, it can't be the KV-85, he's well ahead. But no one spotted at this point, so it's like whatever. And as you can see, I've bounced quite a few shells now from the Indian Panzer, just showing you the effectiveness of the armor of the Lowe at longer ranges, mostly because the turret is so damn powerful and curvy. But you can do some nice curving, and my brother's putting a lot of good shots into the KV-85. I try and put a shot into the Panzer there. That was a terrible shot. I should never have taken it, but it doesn't really matter, so I'm going to move up, reload on the time. Borsig's there. At this point, I'm like, fuck, move back. And move back. And Black Raptor is quoting our one of our players who can't spell for shit, which was pretty funny. And the Panzer dies. I have a Top Gun, 10 kills. We now need 2 kills to get crucial contribution, even though Black Raptor got no kills. But as you will see, he does pretty good. And then I get killed by the Borsig, which is a big shame. We're going to move up to my brother's side, and he manages to move forwards. And that's really all that's going to happen, since our heavy tanks and Indian Panzer is going to go from behind, kill them from behind. We have a Borsig as well, who's just gone around the corner and annihilated their Borsig. Our Borsig is the best name ever. He's called Ivanovsky, which we just all burst out laughing hearing that. It was just amazing. But anyway, that's that replay done, and now we will look at the result screen and the final verdict of the So here we are on the result screen, getting 75k credits, a Top Gun, and 4,000 experience. 89% of our shots fired hit, and most of them penetrated, which is pretty good. Getting 3,300 damage. Ivanovsky getting almost 4,000. My brother made the funniest remark, saying if he needed 4,000 damage, he sucked, which was pretty funny. Getting 1,300 base XP for us. Also managing to hit quite a few shots from a distance and blocking potential damage 4,000, which just shows you the armor of the tank. So the Lowe, what is it? Well, it's a tier 8 heavy tank, which is fucking amazing in my opinion. I think it's one of the best tanks in the game when it comes to its power, its damage, and the amount of good games you have in it. It's very easy to use, and I think it's one of the best tier 8 premiums, if not one of the best tier 8 heavies. Maybe not the best tier 8 in the game, but it's very close, because you can use it in almost any situation and do very well in it. It has a nice set of hit points, so you can tank a lot of damage. It has a very good gun to penetrate very high tiers. If you need it, you can pen those E100s and those mouses very, very effectively. Would I recommend it? Yes. Would I buy one? I did. I don't regret my choice, but it's a choice that you need to sort of make for your own if you really, really want to buy it. It's a very good tank, and of all the premium tanks on sale, this is the one I would definitely recommend the most. Although I would strongly recommend against buying tanks until you have reached tier 8 on your own. I would seriously recommend going up either the Tiger 2 or the IS-3 lines before buying a tier 8 heavy premium tank. If you're going to do that before you get a tier 8 of your own, you're going to struggle a lot, and you're going to say, why the hell did Rexasaur recommend this? Because I just can't use it, or the tank's a pile of shit or stuff. You need to be used to playing at tier 8. Tier 8 is very, very different from playing at all the lower tiers. Tier 7 you sort of get a little bit of grasp of that, but tier 8 is really where you get to see the differences. If you're going to buy a tier 8 premium, don't, is all I've got to say. Unless you've already got a tier 8 of your own, that is either a tier 8 heavy or a tier 8 medium, I would definitely not recommend buying any tier 8 heavy of your own. If you've just started the game, and you've got yourself your tier 1, tier 2, definitely don't buy any premium tank of any kind. If you're going to spend money in the game, spend it on premium time to get yourself to tier 5, and then play something like a KV1, a Churchill 1, one of the tier 5 heavies, just to really get a feel of power, and then you can maybe decide on whether or not to spend money on the game for tanks. But I seriously would not recommend spending money on the game if you're going to do that. But in terms of the Lowe is amazing. I really enjoy the tank, and I'm going to be playing it for a very long time for now. I've only got 75 games in it, which feels to me as if I've played it for years. It's so good, and I love it so much, and I'm very happy that I bought it myself. So thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope this review was helpful if you're looking to see whether you want a Lowe yourself. or if you just want to know how to, hurt the Lowe, and the thing is the Underglacius or the side armor pretty much, because it's a very hard tank to counter, or artillery. But yeah, and I hope this was helpful, so thank you very much for watching. Please comment, like, and subscribe if you have not done so already, and I will be seeing you next time.